What's going on, people, and welcome back to another video. So since I really don't have nothing to do on a Sunday night other than pray and get myself ready for the work week, I've decided to go ahead on and pick up the reviews for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I just want to say real quick that last week after the Housewives went off, I watched Dirty John. I had heard of the story before, I watched something about it on YouTube, and I watched it on, I think, 2020, a little while back. But, so I'm like really into that, and I did a review on it. And I don't know if y'all watched it or not, but it's real good. So anyway, that next morning, I seen that I didn't have like hardly no views. So I took it down like right away. And I also started doing reviews last week on All American, the show that comes on the CW. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing All American reviews. It all depends if the views pick up. If not, I'm probably just going to give it like one more try. And then I'm just going to let it go after that if it doesn't pick up many views. So I've been faithfully watching Housewives of Atlanta since their second season. So here's my first review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which aired on December 2nd, 2018, and it airs on Bravo. So the show starts off with Greg and Nene, and Greg has a personal chef now who's coming to prepare him a vegan shake since he has decided to go vegan because, you know, he's battling cancer and he's trying everything possible to avoid chemotherapy if it comes to that. Then he receives a phone call from his doctor's office, which is bad news, that there are small tumors showing up in his tests, and they advise him to go head on into chemotherapy. And this scene was like very, very hard to watch. It was even like certain parts when he was on a phone with the doctor or the nurse that they was kind of like fading to black. And it was just kind of difficult to watch that scene. It was hard for me to sit through that. I was even turning away a little bit. I don't know. It's a real personal moment that they chose to air on TV for everybody to see. So Greg said that he just don't know about doing chemotherapy. So I'm assuming that he's just going to continue his vegan diet and other medications. So Eva's mom is in town with her to go pick out a wedding dress. So while she's trying on different wedding dresses, her mom is being a pain and bringing up all kind of stuff, being very picky, like if she's the one getting married. And you could tell she was getting on Eva's nerves. And then her best friend showed up. And her best friend didn't have much to say because it's like her mom just stole the show. So the next thing you know, they were showing Shamaya and Ron, and they are discussing and just preparing for the twin boys' first birthday party. So Shamaya brings up this conversation with Ron while they're sitting outside talking about the conversation she had with the ladies when they were all together and they were playing a questions game. And then she said that the question came up that anybody ever had an open relationship. And she jumps up and she says, so I told him about that. And Ron, he was like, so you decided to tell them about that? And then she was like, yeah. And I just felt like, and they were just talking about, and then she was just saying that the situation was so wrong, and like he thought that, you know, that's something that she should have kept to herself, instead of just throwing that out there. He just was looking at her like, you just so, you know, like he just was disgusted with her for that moment. Like, why would you do that? Like, she's just childish and immature. And then she started talking about how grateful she is that their marriage has grown and has lasted as long as it has, and it is stronger. Because at one time she thought that they wasn't going to make it, because when they were in an open relationship, she took it a little bit too serious. She even considered leaving him for another woman. And that came up in the last episode. And it's like I was saying to myself last week that she just talked too much. Like, just simmer down a little bit. You talk way too much. You're telling too much of your business to these people. They're not going to tell you that much about themselves, you know, about their situation to you. So why are you doing all, like she was doing way too much to try to fit in. So So now Eva is out to dinner with her mom and they going over the guest list for the wedding. So her mom thought it was a good idea to invite certain people, including Eva's dad. And Eva was like, no, I don't want him now. And so they talking and everything. And she talking to Eva like she a little girl and what she says goes and everything. And so Eva still trying to get a word in on how she feel about certain people being there. And her mom was like, well, I said that's enough and I don't want to hear no more. I'm done talking about it. And I'm like, and it's like, it just shut Eva up. Like it brought her back to that place where, you know, your mama don't play with you. But I'm like, this a grown woman and she still talking to her like that. And it got to Eva to the point where she started crying. So she got up and she left and went to the bathroom. And she was talking to one of the producers. And then she was just telling a producer about how her mom is obviously getting on her nerves and she was a little bit overwhelmed and everything. So she went back to the table and she just told her mom, I just need you to be their support system. That's all, because I never had a sister. You know, she only had a brother. So she was like, I just need you to be their support system on whatever decision I choose to make on planning my wedding. And her mom was like, yes. And she was like, I apologize that I started crying. But I'm like, this lady just seems so like, I don't know, like no emotions or nothing. No comfort for her daughter while her daughter was crying. Like, there's no way I could have been sitting there and my child crying. I wouldn't even went there, first of all. And she was like, I'm sorry that I took it there with you. And stuff like that. So, whatever. And, okay, so now they're showing a birthday party. And Marlo, she shows up with her little nephew. He all decked out with his little reflective shades on. So while the party going on, I'm noticing Marlo in the background fanning herself and her little nephew. I'm like, why she make a big deal out of this scene just to put the spotlight on her? And so while she's fanning her nephew, she asking her nephew, is he hot? I'm like, Lord, please, she just need to stop. She just be doing way too much. So Candy and Todd, they show up with Ace at the party and they sitting at the table and everything. Then Shamaya shows up and Shamaya comes over and sit down with Candy and Marlo. And they brought up last week and how Eva was throwing shade at them and stuff like that. Shade at Shamaya and stuff. So Candy, she saying what she had to say about her, whatever. So then Eva, she shows up. But before Eva showed up, Shamaya, they show her talking and she's like, oh, because I don't need no makeover. If anything, you need to look in the mirror, look at yourself. You need a makeover. So she's throwing that at Eva. So when Eva showed up, it came up again. Eva completely denied everything that she did say during that little conversation. And so now they're singing happy birthday to the babies. And now they're on Cynthia again. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. Cynthia invited everybody except Portia. Well, Portia, she probably did invite her, but she couldn't make it. They were all sitting out for lunch, and that's when Cynthia told them about opening up a wine shop and everything like that. So while they talking, Candy had to bring up about Portia's new man and him with all these tattoos on him and stuff, and she know this person and she know that person, just stuff that she just need to stay out of. And even when she was meeting with her assistant and Todd, they was like, why don't you just stay out of it? Like everybody telling Candy in a way to just, well, that's on them, just let that go, just leave that alone or whatever. But it's like Candy just can't leave stuff alone. Like, you know, like we know she not really all that close with Portia still. Like they cordial, they able to be in each other's companies without taking each other's head off or whatever. We know what all happened when Portia lied on her about the rape thing. So we know that they not back tight as they used to be and stuff. But don't act like that you're so concerned about her personal, you know, her decisions that she make in her personal life. Stop acting like that, because you don't really care. You really probably on the slick want to see her hurt. You want to see her fall off in a bad relationship again. You want to see it fail. Stop putting on for the cameras, because you really don't care about that girl like that. And so by Todd telling her, if I was you, I would just leave that alone or whatever. So And then her assistant, what's his name? He always giving this like stank attitude face. I could never get ready for that dude. I can deal with Carmen more than him. So after that, what else happened? So they're back at they all meet up this time, and Portia and Candy showed up first to the wine tasting. And so they all at the table, and they brought that up again. And so Candy feel like that Nene probably told Portia what she said, because how else did Portia find out and asked her man, and her man asked his exes, which one of y'all running y'all mouths, because it's getting back to my old lady and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that Nene told. Nene denied it, but Nene ended up saying, yeah, well, I didn't say nothing. But Portia ended up saying that Nene told her, like, look, this what I had heard and stuff like that. Just trying to ease it on in a little conversation without it seeming messy. But either way it go, we know how the conversation probably went. So Portia just pretty much said, look, I'm with him now. I'm happy with him. We're going to be together. Our relationship is serious. I'm in love with him. He's in love with me. He wasn't with anybody in between that time. You know, he's been single all the way up to us getting together. And it is what it is. You know, the past is the past, and that's that. So she just shut Candy up all the way. And so all this is happening, you know, while they were sitting at the table, and Candy just sitting up there looking. And she really couldn't say nothing else. And so anyway, that concludes this episode. So if you all enjoyed this recap, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching.